As you have seen, as everybody else in the world, Blueface is finally out of prison, and a lot of people are excited, myself included. And not because, well, let me speak for myself. I'm not excited because I'm a fan of Blueface, of his music or his antics or his TV show, whatever, whatever, right? I was more excited or pleased to see because his son would finally get properly taken care of. Now, if you've been paying attention for the last 2 years or so, ever since that Chrisean Jr. has came into the picture, the little boy has been what it seems to be neglected. Whenever you see videos of him, whenever he is at, I think his name is HoodTrophy's party, he was laying on the couch unattended, left at sea unattended. Well, I won't say at sea, at the beach next to the next to the water, which is the sea. And it just goes on and on. Whenever she goes to other streamers' houses, again, the boy is unattended, have covers over him. It's just, the boy is enlarged, neglected, and he doesn't have the love or care that he truly deserves. And the man that wanted to take care of him is gone. So that leaves Blueface. Now, Blueface denied the boy from day one, and he said for the longest time that is not his son. And at first, a lot of people thought he was just trying to avoid accountability. As the boy gets older, it does appear that Blueface may be telling the truth, because that boy looks nothing like Blueface at this point. Now, Chrisean Rock does have a type. If you look at her ex, if you look at Blue and her current boyfriend, I think his name is Top Hat 33K, they all look very similar. Light skin, long hair, kind of like a fro-ish fade type deal, taper fade. And but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the whole entire announcement that Blue made that he was coming out.
About to put my page on private, on dead homies. I got 24 hours to follow a nigga before it's a secret society type thing going on the schoolyard crib. Blueface home.
Now, Chrisean Rock didn't always look crazy. Now, it has been coming out recently that if you look on TikTok or YouTube, you'll see videos of her when she was trying to be a YouTuber, a streamer, way before then. And I saw videos of her. I was like, wow, Chrisean was actually really beautiful. And she looked like she had sense, and she looked like she had some type of character. Not too much now. By the way, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. But let's go ahead and take a look at that quick clip too. Let's see.
I just look so pretty, like this, cause I play track. Oh my god, I said play track. I run track.
Now, here's the thing about Chrisean. If you look at her right there, you would think naturally that, hey, she has some home training, she has some mannerisms, she has some class to her, and she's a very attractive young woman. But here's the thing, with time and fame, people always give up something they seem to transform. You'll see a lot of new young artists or people, I guess influencers now or streamers now, it's the new artists. They'll come into the game looking all clean, neat, and tidy, and then eventually they'll transform into a darker form of themselves. If you watch or read One Piece, they get Domini Reversi. Let's just leave it at that. That's what ends up happening to them. So it seems like this version of Chrisean was the version of her before she got Domini Reversi into what she is today. A woman who's obsessed with Blueface, who's been passed around the industry and around streamers and random men on the street, and all the while still ignoring her son, the boy that needs the most care, the boy that she wanted to keep. Because keep in mind, Chrisean Rock said herself that she had those 3 crosses on her face, mainly because she had those operations to make sure you didn't have a kid anymore. I had to say it that way because of YouTube, right? But she chose to keep this one. I don't know if she thought it would help her keep Blue. I'm not sure it's because she saw how Blue was with his other kids. But that's what she chose to do. And instead of sticking by that decision and making sure that she was the best mother possible to transform herself into a bit a better person,
do I fight?
That.
If a bitch try me, maybe. Oh my
god. Like I said, Domini Reversi. Like, she has no class at all anymore. I don't know what happened. And the crazy part about it was, I can understand that fully. I can 100% understand Chrisean Rock had a very hard life. In fact, if you actually listen to Chrisean Rock's story, it is very inspirational in a sense up until she got famous. I understand that her mother had issues. She was going from home to home. Her older sister, Tashiki, was working the clubs, making sure she could help take care of Chrisean, even help buy her prom dress, if I remember correctly. And as soon as she got into the whole entire Baddies thing, that's when she started to transform. Now, a lot of people will say that it was Blueface. A lot of people love to blame Blueface for how Chrisean Rock is today. And I would argue no. I would say maybe Blueface is a very small part of it. Maybe 10% of it, right? Because whenever you get into a bad or horrible relationship, you do tend to feed off each other in the worst ways possible. Sometimes you can bring out the best in each other. You can bring out the worst in each other. This is what happened when it came to that's not a real word. When it comes to Chrisean and Blue, I feel like they brought the worst out of each other. But Chrisean was an athlete, a pretty talented athlete, if I remember correctly. Chrisean was a very beautiful young woman. She had plenty of options. She made a choice to pursue the attention she got. She made a choice to get this quick money, and it's causing her everything. Right now, most men who have any sense about them wouldn't touch Chrisean Rock. But let's keep looking. Now, I had to mute this part because it had a lot of copyrighted music, but you'll see, this is like the first day when Blueface came out, and Chrisean Rock is so attentive to Blueface. Keep in mind, she has a whole new boyfriend right now, a guy named Top Hat 33K. New boyfriend all over Blue, being attentive to him. This is a stream with DDG. He was trying to record some music and whatnot. And her son is there, again, still not paying him any attention. He doesn't show in these clips. I typically try to keep the son out of a lot of the videos that I do. But this is what I respect about Carlissa. Carlissa, again, no parent is perfect, right? But you can learn from your mistakes and try to do better by your grandkids. I didn't realize that Blueface had other kids before, right? And when I seen his other kids, they look so much like Blueface. Is crazy. His DNA is strong. So for this boy that Chrisean has that looks nothing like Blueface, but does look like the guy that passed away, is something different itself. But the other kid's mom, I can't think of her name right now. She does not like Chrisean. She does not want her kids around Chrisean. And I can understand and respect that. If my ex was dating a crazy person or a person that seemingly may be on some type of substances, I wouldn't want them around my kids either. So Carlissa, being a good grandmother, said, no, you can't touch this kid. You can't be around it. I respect that a lot. Again, Carlissa is not perfect, but at least you can see she's respecting the mother's wishes and trying to do better.
Touch her. Right. You can't touch her. Right. You can't touch him.
Yeah, just PSA. I didn't approve for no crackhead bitch.
And this is the other baby mama. I think that's Blueface high school sweetheart, if I remember correctly, too.
Be around my kids, so I hope everyone's in the same place when I arrive. I'm on the way.
But whenever we look at the whole entire situation with Blueface and his kid, or Chrisean Jr., just look at the progress.
My son. What's up, Sonny? You standing up all by yourself.
Now, before, we never saw the boy even stand. We didn't think he can do anything because she always had him in a stroller. She, being Chrisean, always had Chrisean Jr. in a stroller. She always was just holding him, trying to block his face. But Blueface only been out for a week at this point, and when these video clips was taken, it was taken, what, maybe a day or two while he was out? The boy is making miraculous progress. He may have something wrong with him. I don't know. But kids develop at the pace of what you believe in. If you believe your kid can walk at an early age, guess what? That kid is going to walk. If you believe that kid can talk at an early age, guess what? That kid is going to talk. You dictate the pace of your kid. Now, some kids, yes, they may be developmentally challenged. Yes, they may have some issues that you may have caused, you being Chrisean. But if you put in the effort to love a kid, it will develop. He will develop. This was not the case when it comes to Chrisean. And then muted, copyright stuff, etc. I mean, the boy is standing and playing. He looks happy. He looks healthy. This is a vast improvement for what we see at any other
Get back
time.
with Chrisean. You gonna get back with that? Or you just focused on you?
Yeah, right now I'm focused on like bringing it all together, trying to be the glue. So, like I said before, I'm being patient and sensitive to everybody's
But it's all
time.
up.
If you ever know anybody that's had a hard life, that went to prison, you recognize that look in his eyes, right? Now, I'm not going to speak illy on anybody at all. That's not what I do. But I will say this. Whenever you see a man have that kind of look in his face, and in fact, in his same video stream, I didn't get this clip of it. He even said the reason he got all the tattoos on his face is because he didn't like his face anymore. That's a man that lives in a lot of regret, that's trying to figure out a way to be better. Now, time will tell if that would actually happen, but that's what's going on right here. A man can recognize when another man is in pain. He won't express it. He won't say it. He will deal with it the best way he can. But a lot of the times when you're locked away, it gives you time to reflect.
It's all up. It's all up with the baby moms, though.
No, always, man. I don't know. I don't know how I could hate him, I guess.
Yeah. But you always been a good dude, man. You always been,
No?
you always been taking care of your family. You've been responsible and
And
provider.
you
And
can't forget.
And one thing I can say about Blueface, outside of his relationship with Chrisean, when it comes to the kids in general, he appears to be a good father. He appears to care and be attentive. And like I said, Chrisean Jr. has made vast improvements. Even with the stream when he was on DDG and you see the little baby just interacting, just being happy. You never saw that with Chrisean. Chrisean don't give a care. What? I'll give you a personal story, right? When I was about to be a father, I did what most men did. We will hook up with a bunch of good girls, and for some reason, we always get the crazy one pregnant. It never fails. The one that ain't about ish, the crazy one, we always seem to get them pregnant, right? So when that happened to me, when I got the crazy one pregnant, because out of all the women I dated or been with, they would have been great mothers, but I chose. Somehow I got the crazy one pregnant. Well, there's a long story with that, but I'll explain that another day. But long story short, to get to the point, I remember she was about 8 or 9 months pregnant. And at this time, I was denying the kid because when she got pregnant, she was already living with another guy. In fact, it was the guy she cheated on me with. So I had very good reasons to think that was not my kid. So whenever she came in my house, she said, well, I know this is your kid. If it's not your kid, I'm not going to love the kid. And I'm just telling you that honest. And I was like, I even told her straight to her face. I looked at her, I was like, look, you better hope that kid is not mine because I am a very selfish person. I live a good lifestyle. I don't want to be a father. I'm not ready to be a father. But guess what ended up happening? The kid ended up being mine. I'm a single dad. I'm a single dad. I took care of the kid. I grew up. I stepped up. That's what's happening with Blue. You see a lot of men who were put in situations they didn't want, but we step up. We be the fathers that we need to be. Now, there are some deadbeat fathers, but we don't ever talk about the deadbeat mothers for some reason. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, it seems like his family is also still doubting that the kid is his too. That or they just want to get rid of Chrisean. Or it's a combination of the two. If I'm being honest, I want to get rid of Chrisean too. Why would I want that demon in my family? But here we go. They said they were trying to sneak a DNA test. Oops. Here we go.
Make sure you don't leave. Put in your purse over there. Oh, you having a good dream. You smiling?
No, he with you. He was smiling when I was on the phone with him. That nigga been doing that all day. He don't even do that.
Oh, you happy today?
Nigga, now he know his daddy home.
You happy today? You ready to go play? I need you to wake up though, man. We about to throw you in a playpen.
The way 2 of the flat tires.
Playpen.
All right, now here's the other thing. I'm going to go ahead and I went to TikTok. I didn't feel like grabbing the clips. This is from TMZ, right? And this is her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend now, because I thought they were still together. They were literally together a month ago, and she was saying, they were saying they love each other, right? And HoodTrophy apparently is a man that has an autistic kid, which, if you ever had an autistic kid or you have a family member that's autistic and you see the struggles or you know the struggles, you can have a lot of respect with somebody that takes care of an autistic kid, who loves that kid and tries to be there for him. Now, let's just go ahead and play the clip right here. He gives a very mature and reasonable response to Chrisean.
About the little baby, Chrisean Jr. I mean, you said that. I know at one point you said she was a bad mom. Do you feel that way still?
You feel me? I said what I said. I can't take back what I said. But you feel me? This is daddy need to go get him, and you know, I wish the best for the baby. You feel me?
See, the daddy needs to go get him. We all believe that the boy would have been better off with Blueface. And it's unfortunate that... Let me hold my thought on that. Let's just go ahead and continue.
He's not with a baby, a toddler. I wish the best for the kid, you feel me? I like him my damn self. He was, feel me? He a nice little boy, you feel me? I love him myself. But he just needs the right support and love, you feel me? I got kids. I got an autistic son myself, you feel me? So I understand. So it's just like, you just need the right love. But it ain't, you know?
Okay, you said
And I love what he said right there. He needs the right love. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before, that whatever expectations you pick for your kid, they will normally meet if they can. If you believe in your kid will believe in themselves and they will step up. He gets it. Chrisean does it for whatever reason. She can date and be with men that can understand what it means to be a parent, but for some reason it doesn't click to her.
baby should go back to Blueface is what you're saying, maybe, or something.
Tell the mom get her mind right. She just needs the right love and support around it. So tell Chrisean, mind it straight. In my opinion, if it was my baby mama, I'll get my baby.
100. If it was my baby mama, I'll go get my baby. Same thing here. Actually, that's what I did. I went and got my baby. And my daughter's an honor student now, so you know what? Men get it. You know, we get so much crap for men being fathers in the black community, but even street dudes get it. Whenever the father is absent, normally the kids go down. But this is Chrisean's new boyfriend. Top hat 33K looks like. He's 18 years old. Now, when it comes to street guys in general, they tend to grow up a lot faster because they may not know how long they'll be here. So when you hear this interview of him and you listen to him, even him, he sounds more mature and have more sense than Chrisean. And keep in mind, Chrisean is 25 years old. Let's continue.
He fresh out of jail. He asked Chrisean, he like, is she a blue nose or is she a red nose? In other words, is she a Crip or a Blood? She said she a Crip. How you feel about that?
Truthfully, she is not in gangland anymore. She's made out of the hood and all these other kind of things. Why is she talking about being a Blood or a Crip at all? Is confusing to me, right? It doesn't matter. Just because you date street dudes doesn't mean you have to be a street woman.
Weird behavior. Why would you even pitch your baby mama in a situation like that for her to pick Bloods or Crips and she don't gangbang? She don't know shit about it. You feel me?
Did she
Boom. He said exactly what I said in different words.
ask you before she linked up with Blueface? Or did she just pop out with him?
She called me like, hey, daddy, you want me to take my son to my baby daddy? I'm like, yeah, because I'm a baby father. I wouldn't want my baby mama keeping my kids from me, feel me? So I'm like, of course, go take her. I ain't no press bitter about none of that shit. At the end of the day, that's her baby daddy. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, that's still gonna be her baby daddy. And I might not even be in the picture. So I really don't be giving about that shit. As long as I'm taking care of my kids and getting the shit I gotta get done and stacking this paper, that's all that matters.
No,
Right. And that's the thing where a lot of people don't seem to understand is whenever you do have a kid, you're stuck with that person for life for the most part. And you don't know how long you'll live for. You don't know what connections that you will have with the mother or father of your kid. It just gets messy. That's why it's very hard for people with kids to date. Because unless the other parent is in prison for life or in the grave, there's always going to be some type of interruption eventually in the future. But again, he seems pretty mature. He seems to get it, you know. He's 18 years old and Chrisean is 25. And I didn't realize that he was 18 until I was doing some research on this. And again, I don't know. I don't know. It is very disappointing to see how Chrisean Rock turned out when she has so much potential to begin with. But, you know, it is what it is. She chose her life. She chose her faith. If the boy is not Blueface, if Chrisean Jr. is not Blueface, I fear that boy is not going to progress any further. With Blue being out within, 24 to 48 hours, you saw so much progression in that little boy that it makes you question, is there anything really wrong with him? Or is Chrisean just really that bad of a mother? Anyways, you guys tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, and have a great day.